All right. Hello everyone, and welcome to stream. I'm alive. I'm alive once again, back behind the camera, even though you can't see me. I'm here though. You just have to trust me. Hello everybody. How are we doing today? What's the energy? I know I asked yesterday, but like, I'm asking again. She's alive, barely, but yes. He had lemon meringue pie. That's the best pie. I actually like apple more, but lemon meringue is super good though. I love key lime. I love lemon meringue. That's the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I used to play You Get Go. Oh my god, have fun. Me? Barely, yeah, same. Lemon meringue is so good. Key lime is, yeah, key lime up there. Love that stuff. But yeah, I hope you're all doing well. As the stream title says today we're going to be drawing background characters. We're going to be drawing people. Draw some people with me. You know what I'm saying? Yay! We're going to be drawing some people today. Because I feel like every single person who I talk to who's like, every single artist who's learning, and I talk to them and they're like, I want to be a character designer. And then I'm like, well, have you drawn, how many background characters have you drawn? And they're like, what? Because more often than not, as a character designer, you're not going to be drawing the main character. No. 99% of your time is going to be drawing the background characters and the side characters and stuff like that. So there you go. There's your heartbreaking reality. How am I feeling today? You can probably tell by the tone of my voice. My brain has been toasted with garlic butter. So I'm very tired. But yeah, no. As a character designer, it's like, it's less main characters than you think. You gotta draw 50 million average Joes before you get to that beautiful dark elf that you want to draw, you know? But alright. Hope you're all doing good today. Before we begin, you know what's gotta happen, right? First of all, we gotta thank our sponsor for the stream, XP Pen, who have an awesome selection of digital art tablets for both beginners and advanced artists. So if you're looking for an affordable and reliable digital tablet, go browse their store. You'll find the link in the description of this video. Cool and epic. But also, if you didn't know, our growing community is filled with tons of art nerds. We art nerds have to stick together. So if you're an art nerd too, be sure to check the links to our social media in the description below. Check out our website for our class offerings. You can get critique, guidance, and encouragement from our instructors, because we're not just a YouTube channel, we are a school of illustration. I also want to personally thank our incredible Patreon and YouTube members who support us in making free art education content. Members get access to tons of perks like exclusive chats with our creators, weekly live critiques on Discord, class recordings, digital art working files from our streams, and discounts on live programs that have a limited amount of spots. So if you want to help support the channel or accelerate your learning, consider becoming a member. Did I sound like a radio ad? I feel like I sounded like a radio ad. Pretty cool. And before we get into the illustration, we have submissions. It's art submissions time. Cool and epic, cool and epic. It's the last day of Novembones before we get into our December theme. So once we are able to, we'll tell you all about the new theme that's going to be coming up in December. But for the future, if you want to join the Discord, ! Discord, hop in there, submit your work, and you have a chance to be featured at the beginning of streams. Cool and epic. This first one is by Levi. Levi in the Discord. I love this super wonky perspective you got going on here. It's really cool. There's so much movement in here. You also got this wonky anatomy going on as well. Those hands are cool. They got way too many joints, and I like that. This one is really fun. It's so full of energy. It's so full of movement. I really like it. Well done. Next piece is by Ray the artist. Look at them. Look at that light. Look at that light source. That's nice. I love lighting. Lighting's one of my favorite parts. Got a little bokeh going on in the back too. I love the bokeh lights. I love lighting so much. And this one's real nice. I am a big fan. Well done, well done. Thank you so much for submitting. Last but not least, we have that one possum. Look at this. Fun skeleton. It's like a little wyvern. How cute, how cute. You mixed a bunch of bones together. I am loving this little skeleton we got going on here. And it's a great visual example of how, like, wyvern wings and bat wings and all that fun jazz would work. Because, realistically, a wing is just an arm. Or bird wings, too, really. Wings are just arms. So, if you want a visual representation of how that looks in terms of bones, there you go. This is a really good example. But thank you to all three of you. That one Possum, Levi, and Ray the artist, and every other artist who submitted for the month of Novembones, November. Well done, well done. These are beautifully done. And thank you so much for submitting. And again, !Discord, if you want to join in on the fun, submit your work for future streams. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay. Let me, like, stretch for a second. I am very crispy today, so I apologize. Once again, I am very low energy, so don't mind me. Today's written portion is going to be really, really short. There isn't too much for me to actually write out, so we can jump kind of right into the art sooner. Let me just double check where everything is. Okay. Love lighting like that, yeah. Speaking of stickers, do you have any of your art for sale? No, I really should. Like physical merchandise? No. Like, I have commissions, but like I should really like try to sell like prints and stickers. I just haven't had the time. I'd buy a corn sticker. I need to remember it's daytime for you, Jessie. It's night here, and you sound tired. Oh yeah, no, it's 3 p.m. for me right now. For those who want to know, I did just finish teaching a class, exclamation point classes. So I mean, I was tired during that too. To be fair, I've just been really tired lately. I appreciate that, Anime Cat. Oh shoot, I didn't switch my screen. You're so right. LMAO. I've been like adjusting everything and I've been like help me. Can you tell I'm exhausted? It has been a week. It has been a week. I apologize, everybody. Well, there's writing now. Whoa, scary. Writing has happened. Background characters. It's a good thing I looked up. More often than not, you'll need to draw and design background characters as a character artist, especially for animation and comics. Right? She's definitely tired, yeah. Hello. Right? when you're a character artist, it's like I mentioned, when you're a character artist, it's actually a lot less about main characters. You're very rarely going to be able to... Yeah, I have to do my job now. Yeah. It'll actually very rarely be about main characters when you're a character artist. Like, maybe you'll be lucky enough to work on a main character, but more often than not, you're probably going to be designing background characters, NPCs, like, anybody who's not really... Animations and comics and games. That should be there too, right? You're designing NPCs, you're going to be designing people who show up like once, you're going to be designing crowds, right? That kind of thing. So, like, for those of you who are like, oh, I want to be a character artist, it'll be my everything. Probably be a lot less of what you think it is, right? It's a mood though. Here's the thing, I'm not running on 4 hours of sleep. I'm running on like 8, but it's just been a busy week, bro. That's all. It has been a very crunch week. And it's the end of it now. But that isn't to say that it's over. Right? So things to think about. Yeah. Also, a character artist is, like, the most competitive job on the art market. You will not find an art job more competitive than a character artist. Because, realistically, on a games team, specifically, because that's what I was trained in, on a video game team, you're gonna have maybe 3 character artists. That's not a joke. Like, say you have a team of 160 people, right? Split that in half, like... half of those are artists, and the other half is everybody else, right? And it's like, and that includes like programmers, whatever, right? So like 80 people, of those 80 artists, right? It's like 3 of them are like character designers, right? How about a creature design job versus a character design job? They're one and the same. Any kind of like concept work is a very in-demand job. Character art is just really up there because people love characters. So it's like, creature art isn't any easier, realistically, to get. But it is, concept art is just a really, really difficult job to get to land. It's hard. If I were to do any kind of art job, I'd love to be a tattoo artist. That's pretty cool. Tattoo art is cool. That one's good. That one's also risky. Just in the way that, like, it's like you could do it independently, but if you do it independently, then you need a good following. And if you do it with a studio, then you have to have experience like any other job. And like tattoo art, I know, depending on like your experience levels and stuff like that, that is how you can set your prices. And it's like, there's a whole thing with that. Background concept artist is no easier. Is that my skill first part or anything? Yeah. Would concept artists also work as character artists? Yes. Concept artists are an umbrella. Concept artist is like an umbrella. And then underneath concept art, there are character concept artists. There are creature concept artists. There are background concept artists. And like, a concept art is just like a large profession. It's like saying like, oh, I'm an artist, but there are so many different kinds of artists. Same deal. Yeah. Okay, things to think about. Things to think about. First one is fitting them in your setting. Alright. Video game character design is my dream job. It's a lot of people's dream jobs. That doesn't mean that you can't get it. It's like, maybe you will get it one day. That's totally fine. But it is hard. It's not like no art job is easy. Art is one of the hardest jobs to get into. But it's your dream job. There are things, like, within that realm that you can also apply for and, like, try to go aim for. Yeah, it's one thing to make a mistake on paper, it's another to realize halfway through a tattoo the anatomy perspective is wrong. Well, that's why you have, like, stencils and stuff. Unless you're a freehander, in which then you're nuts. I can tell how tired Jessie is, just how clean her notes are. Yeah, sorry, my handwriting is not it today. Yes, fitting them into your setting. Background characters should not look too dissimilar to your main or side characters. That's the thing that, like, people don't tend to realize. Your background characters should not make your main or side characters stand out like crazy. Like, they should stand out because you're familiar with the characters, not because they don't look like they fit into the setting that surrounds them, right? How will you make them belong while not making them stand out too much? Right? How will you make them belong while not making them stand out too much? Hi, Vin. You ever see, like, those screenshots from, like, anime? And they're like, guess who the main character is? Right? And it's, like, so clearly, like, it's like Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! Or whatever, and he's, like, got the crazy hair and this, like, intense anime outfit, and then everyone else around him is in, like, slacks and, like, t-shirts, right? It's... Background characters should not look too dissimilar to your main or side characters. They actually shouldn't. Your background characters should still feel like they fit within this setting, right? So think about it this way. If anybody has seen Arcane, I know, super niche show. But if anybody has seen Arcane recently, no spoilers or anything like that. Or if you've only seen the first season, that's okay too, right? You notice how, like, even the background characters of Arcane, they're all actually very elaborately dressed. It's like they're elaborately dressed, they all kind of have the same fashion style, they're all super varied in the way they're all super varied in the way that they look, right? But the main characters stand out. It's like sometimes it's with color, sometimes it's with like certain like motifs or whatever, but realistically they all, like, if we didn't know them as the main character, they might not stand out as much, right? Because they still feel like they fit within that crowd. JB or JB not. Thanks, Vin. Thanks, Quinn and Vin. Right? So it is important to have your background characters fit within your setting, while not having them stand out too much, because obviously your main characters, you want them to stand out, but they shouldn't stand out by much, right? They should stand out enough to where you can tell, oh yes, this is the main character, but not so much to where it feels like they don't belong in a crowd, right? Or maybe not. Maybe Arcane was the friends we made along the way. It was not your cane, nor my cane. It was our cane. Glorious cinema. What are we? Some kind of League of Legends? I'm gonna have no choice but to watch Arcane after this stream. Have you not seen Arcane, Joe? Have you seen anything? Like, anything? Like, not even the first season? You've only seen Jinx art and that's it? Help! Okay, you have to watch it all. You do. You'll die. You haven't either, Kevin! You have to watch it too. Alright. Is that coincidence or because season 2 is coming out? I mean, season 2 is out. It's been out. But no, they've been saying all the Arcane memes in the in the chat. Number 2 is variety, right? Your background characters shouldn't look like the same 3 people repeated over and over. Okay, I see this a lot with some people. Sometimes they just don't know who to put in the background, so they repeat like the same like 5 people, 3 or 5 people. It'll be like a woman, a man, and a child, and it'll be like that. Or if we want to get crazy, there'll be an elderly person in there too, right? And they kind of just repeat the same body types, sort of just repeat the same accessories in different colors, right? That kind of thing. So variety keeps your crowds and backgrounds lively. It gives it life, right? When we have variety, variety, the principle of design, variety is all about mixing it up to make sure that things aren't too stagnant, to make sure that they don't feel too similar all the dang time. Right, so variety keeps your crowds and your backgrounds lively. It's what gives your backgrounds life, right? So if people in real life have variety, then they'll need it in your art as well, right? If people in real life have variety, then they'll need it in your art too. So try not to forget your background characters. Hang on, I'm so sorry. Haven't watched Arcane yet. Haven't watched all of it only because I have not had Netflix. Oh my god. You have to. Everybody who hasn't seen it, you have to. Okay. the Genshin NPCs. I'm sorry, man. The Genshin NPCs, some of them have better body types than the main characters, so... I don't know, man. I saw one of my friends playing Genshin, and there was, like, a tall, muscular character, and I was like, why isn't the tall, muscular main character like this? I don't know, man. If you're really lucky, you have a background horse, too. Yeah, there's an animal. Sometimes there's a dog. Maybe it's a cat. A bird flying through the sky, if you're lucky. Fitting them in your setting, variety. No, it's about right. Yeah. It's like I said, it's like the written portion, not gonna be very long. So that's about it. Right? 2 main things that you're gonna want to think about is more often than not, you'll need to... you're going to want to think about fitting them in your setting somehow, right? And then variety. Right, because we don't want them to look too dissimilar to our characters, right? And in that case, we want to think about what the setting is, what's the area that we're working with, right? If it's a fantasy setting, if it's a sci-fi setting, if it's a blah, 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 right? We want to think about that. We want to make sure that they kind of have the same design notes as our main and side characters, right? And then variety. We want to make them all look real different, right? Where there are no more muscly claymore wielders. You're so right. I personally am an axe girl. I love axes. Okay, what we're gonna do today, right? This is gonna be another stream where I kind of just do whatever I want because I'm tired. What we're gonna do today is we're gonna draw a bunch of background characters as if it was part of the universe that Korn is part of, right? So it's a kind of like fantasy D&D sort of thing. Hello? Hi, am I here? Genshin body types. Boy, girl, woman, tall woman, and little guy. Yeah. Yes, I'm here. Okay, because I got some scary messages in chat, so... Because they're like, chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. And then it's like a second later, it's just like, successfully connected. And it has that like twice in my chat, and I'm like, I'm here. I'm like, I died. Do I have to watch the first season to understand the plot? Yes. It kept happening on one stream. Oh, did it? Is it a YouTube issue? Drawing companions for corn panions, if you will. Yeah, this is me killing two birds with one stone. We'll start by drawing corn for those who don't actually... For the people who don't actually know what corn looks like. Started listening to my first D&D campaign this week. Which one? It's like we'll have corn off to the side just as like to give you an idea of what the main character looks like. My strategy as well, especially for comics, if you make the main character not super detailed, then the rest of the characters also don't have to be super detailed. And those are the intelligent strats that you get from somebody who's been doing art their whole life. This is Korn when he's just a little bit older as well, so his horns are a bit bigger, his face is a little sharper. Oh, wait, what? Speaking of, do I recommend any? What do you mean? Recommend what? You should just do what you want every stream? You know... I don't know how to reply to that. Hang on. Oh, D&D campaign podcast? Wait. What have you been listening to, Joe? Or wait, no, it was Vin. What's Left of Us? I don't know that one. Oh, do I have any D&D campaign podcasts? The only one that I listen to is the one that my friends are part of. And, like, that's about it. I actually don't listen to any D&D, like, podcasts. Like, can you believe it? I genuinely don't. I don't even listen to Crit Roll. I genuinely only listen to my friends play on their campaign. And, like, that's about it. Also, like, D&D podcast Rex. I know my best friend really likes Roll20. Anything that Roll20 does, they really like Fantasy High. I know that they also watch Crit Roll, obviously, because that's a popular one. I don't watch the campaign, but I love the clips a lot. Legends of Evantris, which is that one where, like, It's like you might see the you might see the gifs from it all the time. Is it a propane grilla or you're a barbecue? Is it a propane grilla or a charcoal grilla? You know, that kind of thing. Approximately 5 hours and 29 minutes till D&D time. 4 hours and 29 minutes. Oh, even better. Kevin, we're not allowed to post links in the chat unless we can't post unsolicited links. You have to be banned now. I'm sorry. You're not allowed to post exterior. Come on, Kevin. I was kidding. You're a mod. I don't actually care. You only watch Jade Animations D&D? Like the video that she posted about it? Or like do they actually post it? I genuinely don't know. It's okay, I'll take over. Yeah, Quinn time. Don't let Quinn take over, they scare me. Jaden plays D&D, I think so. I remember the one video that she did. Where she was playing it with Alpha Rat and friends. Which, by the way, I was like, she played a Black Dragonborn, and I was like, oh my god, twins. It's like, you and me both. Kevin sacrificed himself just so he could give us a recommendation. Of course, you would Black Dragonborn. Bro, it's fun to play a Dragonborn, okay? I don't know what to tell you. I will say, I do like to try and play a different species every time I play. Spoiler alert, there'll be in fact streams next month. Yo, why would you say that? That's crazy. Those are crazy spoilers, bro. Spoiler alert, one of us will be dead next. Sorry, that's such a dark joke. One of us will be sacrificed. Who is your favorite D&D to play? What do you mean? My favorite D&D character? My favorite... Who is my favorite D&D? Which D&D is my favorite? Which Mr. D&D is my favorite? Yes. Like, who's my favorite character to play? Is that what you mean? Which is your favorite D&D? My favorite character? You're looking at him. He's my favorite right now. I love playing Corn. I've been playing Corn for like 3 years. My baby boy. My little dragonborn boy. As someone who has never played D&D, how do you guys come up with backstories for your characters? What class is he? He is a, he's a totem barbarian, which has now been changed to the Wild Heart. But he's a barbarian. He's a barb. I love my martial classes, so he's also my very first D&D character. So Corn is just really fun to play as and draw in general. I love doing his voice. It's so fun to do. No, he's the party tank. So like the barb that I've picked for him specifically is really, really tanky. If I rage, I resist like everything except for psychic damage. It's awesome. What does he sound like? Need water for this. And then I'll reply to that in a sec, Joe.
Corn sort of sounds like this. So he is... I do like this kind of like... this like little boy's voice. Which is like, it goes through the nose and then I have to force out like a rasp. Which, by the way, this voice was really easy to do when I had lost it. So, like, it clears it out, which is cool. But no, playing as him is a lot of fun. And, like, he's a little dumb, but, like, he does his best. Hello, Novita. Yeah, it's Corn. It's my boy. I want to join a campaign so bad, which is why I'm listening to some D&D podcasts. So what I'm doing, yeah, that's the vibe. I learned how to play by watching D&D. It's so fun. Yeah, the Corn voice. But yeah, how I thought of Corn's backstory, genuinely, I didn't have one. When I first played as Corn, when I first thought of Corn, he was not going to have an extensive backstory. He was going to be, he was almost going to be a joke character. To where I was like, no, he's just a little kid who just really wants to go on an adventure. But over time, as I played him more, I got familiar with the setting that he was in. I was like, okay, I think I can come up with something now. And then that's how I came up with his backstory, was familiarizing myself with the setting first. Now it's a bit of both. It is familiarizing yourself with the setting and then also, just kind of adding your own flair to it, you know? Recognize what setting it is that you're in and then being like, okay, and why? The biggest question you should ask yourself is, why is this character going on this journey? Yes, this is the size of Corn's axe by comparison to him. He's very small. He's just a little guy. Hang on, actually at this age it's a little bit, it's actually closer to him, now that I think about it. It's more like here-ish, yeah. Strong boy. Yeah, he's got a 23 strength, bro. His character constructed himself somewhat. Yeah, actually. Corn is a character that I would describe as a character that wrote themselves. He kind of wrote himself. I've got another character that I'm playing right now. She sort of wrote herself as well. I think all my characters kind of write themselves in a way. But I think that that's fun. We are just going to do line art for this one, because I don't want to do anything else. We're going to do maybe 3 or 4 characters, I think. Me and Quinn tried to put together a party for D&D. It all fell apart. Oh no. Oh, hi Joe. Welcome in. Love characters with absolutely oversized weapons. Oh yeah, no. I'll show you Corn's current art. Like what he looks like in campaign right Corn right now looks like this. A little bit rounder, a little bit smaller. But his axis glows. It glows because it has souls in it. That's not even... I didn't even write that. That was my DM. This axe is so good, dude. This axe is so dang good. It's my favorite thing ever. My DM was like, I don't want, like, to ruin Corn's, like, aesthetic for you. And I was like, don't you worry. I don't know why I pulled that up. I don't need the color. I was like, don't you worry. This thing is sick. Whose soul? Several. We've got the souls from the war that Corn was part of. We've got the souls from another character's backstory that died. It was the sins of his past. Not even a joke. And then there is the souls of, like, the, like, phantasmal force that was underneath a city that we are part of, that we joined in. It's great! The best thing about D&D backstories that you kind of have to... Like, as somebody who loves having control over her characters, when you write a D&D backstory as well, it is way better if you don't finish it. You need to write a story that is intentionally unfinished so that the DM can fill in the rest for you. So I wrote maybe like 30% of Corn's backstory, and then the DM did the rest. And I was like, whoa. So like all the like traumatic stuff, like 90% of the traumatic stuff about Corn, I didn't have a hand in at all. It was just like, it was him coming up with it, and it's my favorite thing ever. Jesse's line art brush. Bro, it's a chisel. Chisels are everywhere. If you want it, you can find it. Chisel brushes are awesome, dude. That's cool, yeah. Is Corn introverted? No. Corn is the extrovert of the party. Corn is chatty. Corn is friendly. He's very, very boisterous. He is the extrovert of the party. He's very sweet. He's very like friendly with people. No, Corn is like the opposite of an introvert. Have you ever seen those, like, memes where it's, like, the like, frat bros that are actually, like allies, and they're, like, really, really nice? They're kind of like, this guy bothering you type of person? That's Corn. That's what Corn is. He's a meathead, but he's, like, he's very sweet. He's very sweet and friendly and extroverted. You know what I mean? Like, that's Corn. He looks sweet. He is. He's very friendly. He's very friendly, but he kind of doesn't know when to shut up. So, like people will ask him, so, like, I love getting the question in campaign. It's like, how old are you, kid? And Corn, like, that's a loaded question, dude. It's so funny. Sleepy carrying an axe with souls. Hey man, this was not his choice. There's no right or wrong brush. Just do what works for you. Yeah, 100%. I love using the chisel, but like not everybody does. No, Corn is very like he. Yeah. I have to remind people a lot of the time. Corn is actually a minor. It was when. Because, like, physically, it's... Again, I didn't write this backstory, but I love it so much. I wrote him to be 8 years old. Like, I wrote him to be, like, this weird little kid who was, like, weirdly muscular and good at fighting, and I didn't write in why. I was like, that's up to you. I'm like, go with that. According to his species, yes, but if you write in a Dragonborn are... They age at the same rate as, like, a human. So, like, I wrote him to be 8, he was 8. Right? And it's so funny when you see the shift versus when I first started drawing him versus, like, later when I learned that he was actually like 16 to 17. And like, because Korn, what happened was he was bred to be a soldier, and he was essentially a bioweapon, and another character who was like our BBEG, which if you don't know what that stands for, it's the big bad evil guy, like one of the main villains of the campaign, took Korn away from that place, erased all his memories, and then brought him to a like village of other Dragonborn, where they kind of had to raise him as if he was a toddler again. So Korn, mentally, he's about 8 or 9, right? So he's 9 now, actually, because in campaign his birthday happened, so he's 9. But physically his body is 17. But he's also growth stunted, so he's shorter than a normal 17 Dragonborn would be. But again, he was bred and fed alchemical concoctions to be like super buff and have super serrated teeth and be built for combat. So he is stronger, but still growth stunted for his age, which is like super cool. I was like, what? When I figured all that, when we learned all that stuff, I was like, I lost my mind. Happy birthday, Corn. Oh, his birthday was a long time ago. That was, I think, like, session, like, 50 or 60. We're on session 95, 94 now? Is he aware of that? Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! No, Corn is super aware of all of this now, right? Because I find out these things at the same time that Corn does, right? They're like things that are revealed to you in campaign. It's so fun. You'll never know the joy of figuring out your own character's lore until it happens to you. It's so fun. But no, Korn has this intense survivor's guilt. Because he also learned his kill count when he was used as a bioweapon. And he is intensely guilty. He feels awful about it because he is a barbarian, but I wrote him to be very gentle. So he's actually not very violent. He just wants to help people. he just does his best. That's what you meant by his trauma. Oh yeah, no, I didn't write any of this. This was not me, but it is. I wouldn't have it any other way. It's so cool. Kill count. No, genuinely, one of the things. We found, like, a library that was full with, like, our characters' backstories. Again, created by somebody who... A big part of our campaign is all based on, like, fate. And we found a library where somebody kind of, like, figured out everything about us. And he had the rest of Korn's backstory, which... I didn't have yet because Korn's memory had been permanently erased, essentially, so I had made peace with the idea of, like, I'm never getting that back. I'm never getting that. But we found the library, and I was like, oh my god. So Korn was, like, frantically searching for his own name, and he had a couple books, and one of them, like, detailed, like, oh yeah, it's like he had, like, killed, like, 217 people in 2 months. And I was like, oh my god. Which is, like, nuts. Gentle giant trope. He's actually quite small. He, in the comic that I'm writing for him, is 4'11". 4'11 to 4'10. He's quite short. Maybe even shorter. In campaign, he's 4'2". How do people days that? I don't know, man. Look at the axe. He didn't have this axe. It was with his bare hands and teeth, bro. It was with his bare hands and teeth. I got this axe during the campaign. No, poor boy. He didn't want to hurt anybody, but that wasn't him. I got to confront the person who, like, took away Korn's memories, so, like, he wouldn't just be, like, a snarling, like, violent mess when brought to the village. And, like, it's so fun to kind of also come up with how your characters are going to react to information. Because, like, D&D, as well as a role-playing game, you play as the character, right? And Corn is different by comparison to the other characters in relation to this guy, because everybody else has had, like, their lives ruined by this guy in some way, shape, or form. Like, my partner's character, Pierce, who plays as Corn's adoptive dad, his dad is dead because of this guy, right? And it's like, it's really, really upsetting. But Corn is different because Corn would not be alive without this guy. So he's really conflicted about how he feels about, like, this evil guy, because it's like, you're terrible and you've done awful things to me right now and I hate that, but I can't hate you completely because without you, I wouldn't be here. So it's like, that was a fun sort of thing that I had to think of too. I love D&D. It's shocking revelation. I love D&D. Making me want to try D&D if I can watch my own character lore be revealed like that. It's so fun. It's so fun. Have you or any other party members ever felt unsatisfied or wanting to change their lore after the DM revealed it? Or is it just something you have to roll with? You can definitely talk to your DM if, like, it turns out that you're actually not too, like, happy about it. Because that is always a possibility. And it's, like, that's when, like, getting to know your DM and your DM getting to know you is really, really important. Because at the end of the day, it's a game, and you want to make sure that you're, like, satisfied. None of us have ever gone to our DM and said, like, hey, I actually don't like what you wrote here. I don't think any of us have ever done that. But we have, like, said to our DM, like, hey, I kind of want this to happen. Or, like, I kind of want this to sort of be what goes on. Like you can always give them suggestions. Like, it doesn't have to be, like, purely, like, it's up to you, I don't get a say at all. That's just what I said. I was like, I trust you. I am like, you know me, we're good friends, I think you can come up with something awesome. And they're like, okay. But you can always have wishes. Like, a character I know, my partner's character, Pierce, when his backstory was kind of written and, like, more lore about him came out, I know my partner, the only hand that my partner played was that he wanted the reason to be an archfey, but we were never told, like, how, and he was never told, like, how or why or anything like that. It was just that it was an archfey that was involved. And it was cool. I love Zaga. She's so fun. She's a spider fae. It's so cool. She's, like, got a bunch of arms and a bunch of eyes, and she's, like, super tall. I love her. Zaga's awesome. Never played it, you should. Hello, welcome in. Yeah, no, D&D is a great time. I highly recommend it. It took me years to finally get into it, because my best friend has been playing for a really, really long time. And I was always nervous about RP, because I didn't really like role-playing. But once you kind of get into it, the character sort of takes over your body and possesses you, and it's like, you're having a great time. Oops, sorry about that. Quinn and I tried to set up a D&D thing, but it didn't work out. That happens sometimes. Are you gonna have time to knock out these background characters? Yeah, I'm not coloring, Corn. We're doing lines only. Thank you. Yeah, we're doing lines only today, so don't worry about it. I'm probably gonna sketch all three before I line all three. I'm thinking what we do, because realistically it's a fantasy world, doesn't mean that everybody is gonna be like an animal folk. It's like, I think we can do one person who is like a full humanoid, one person who is like a full animal kind of character, and then somebody who's half and half. Because I think that's cool. What kind of setting is this version of Corn inhabiting? It's a fantasy. It is a fantasy still. It'll be a fantasy with a little bit more dystopia because I like urban decay a lot. But that's for me to know. Cause yeah, this is post-campaign Corn, and I want to sort of change up the setting. Cause realistically, the setting that I'm playing as right now with Corn is the Tal'Dorei setting. Again, like, that's Critical Role, so like I can't write a comic with that setting. That's copyrighted. Can you be a tree in D&D? You can be a druid. You could be a tree. You could be an Eladrin elf if you wanted. That's what Pierce is. Is it high fantasy? In a way. Yeah, the character you created has become the puppet master. You have been momentarily consumed by them, and all that remains are their memories, their beliefs, and their values. Exactly. That's about it. I think there's a homebrew way, so it's basically a humanoid tree or branch. You could totally do that, yeah. I know one of my friends is currently playing a homebrew race, which is pretty cool, a homebrew species. I like to flavor the species a lot, not make like full homebrew versions. Like traditional Dragonborn, they don't really have like a lot of these anatomy things going on. I love messing with the anatomy of the animal folk. I don't believe in them just being a guy with an animal head. I think that's boring. I always want the weirdness of it. So it's like Corn has like the digitigrade legs and like these abs are just belly scales. We've got the shoulder pauldron kind of thing going on. The weird arm to leg ratio anatomy thing. Longer neck. I'm like, give me more. I'm like, I want more substance. So it's like, rules is written, technically, Dragonborn don't really look like this, but I really like doing that. Same with, like, Tabaxi. I know that Tabaxi are the cat people. Generally, they're supposed to be, like, big jungle cats, but we, in our campaign, have them as house cats, too. So it's just all kinds of cats. So some Tabaxi are really big and, like, scary, and other Tabaxi, like the one in our party, Scribbles, he's a little house cat. So it's like sometimes they're like big cats, sometimes they're little cats. Jungle Tabaxi, which is a homebrew subclass. Oh, that's fun. How bad of an idea it would be to make Gogo illiterate? That's rough. It means you gotta lower that int really heavily. Hello. Yeah, regular D&D Dragonborn are pretty much just scaly humans with lizard heads. I hate it. I want something cooler. I'm like, what is the point of having a cool human-dragon hybrid if you don't put in more of the dragon? Already the lowest I can make it. Oh, it's an 8. Okay. I was like, you set it to like a 2? Like, what? I had a friend who played... We're no longer friends, but I have a friend who played a paladin with a 4 strength, and it was a disaster. He was so weak. It was like a blow from the wind, and he flew away like paper. Stat distributions, the minimum stats are 8. Oh, okay. Okay, so you didn't roll for your stats. You just had, like... I see. Not the 4 strength paladin, yeah. I was like... You're like, how are you going to play this guy? His name was Styx. He was a Lokatha paladin. For those who don't know what a locatha is a fish person. Not a mermaid, a fish person. What, all the players have equal stats? Yeah, fair enough. Some DMs don't have rolled stats. My stats? Okay, I have a character whose stats are nuts, okay? I'm so, like, I rolled for them, and, like, I'm good friends with the DMs. I was like, please, you have to believe me, please. And they were like, oh my god, you're a monster. Let me read out these stats to you, okay? I can't show you the character, because she's a spoiler, but her stats, okay? She's level 4, by the way. She's a level 4 bard, right? For the people in chat who actually know D&D or know it well enough, right? For people who don't know, your stats can be anywhere between 0 to 20. They can go above 20, but, like, that's in rare cases, okay? I'm level 4. This is level 4 of 20 as well, so I'm very, very low level, okay? I have a 14 strength, 16 dex, 15 con, 12 int, 17 wisdom, 17 charisma. These stats are disgusting. They are horrifying. I swear on my life, I rolled a 13, 14, a 12, and 3 16s. I swear on my life. I was like, please, you have to believe me, please. It's okay. And then I played her for the first time, and the first thing I rolled was a nat 1, so it balances out. It's okay. Perfect IVs, genuinely. He's not a kobold, he's a dragonborn. So many people think that he's a kobold because I draw him small. And it's also because everybody draws dragonborn really large and bulky. And I'm like, no, he's just silly. He's a dragonborn though, he's a black dragonborn. I was blessed by the gods. Yeah, the RNGs looked down upon me for all those, like, below 10 rolls that I had in this current campaign with Corn. I'm a low roller, bruh. It's rough. Here's the thing though, is that adult Dragonborn are meant to be, like, really big. It says, like, rules as written, Dragonborn are well over 6 feet. So it's like, when Corn gets older, you know, but not right now. You draw him tiny, and I always think of kobolds as black scaled for some reason. No, that's okay. I love the idea of, I love the history of kobolds. Have you guys ever heard that? Because if you ever watch, for those who watch Dungeon Meshi, you ever notice how the kobolds in that one are dogs? They're fluffy. Whereas kobolds in, like, D&D and stuff like that, they're scaly. They're reptiles. And that's because kobolds, somewhere in history, the paths diverged. And in some folklore, they were described as scaly and more, like, lizard adjacent. And then some folklore, they were described as fuzzy. And the East, in Asia, they kept the fuzzy bits. So their kobolds are all based on, like, dogs and, like, fluffy, kind of like mammalian creatures. Whereas the West, over here, we kept up with the more European mindset of it. So kobolds over here are like dragons. They're scaly and whatever. So I think that that's really interesting. I love the history of kobolds. So over here on the West, yeah, they are like scaly like that. But over in the East, they're fluffy, which I think is cool. Personally, I really love, because of that history, I love drawing kobolds as both. I think it's cool to have them be like almost like a dog dragon. I think that like turns into like a cool sort of like shift in the design, if that makes sense. It like a mixture of the two cultures, and I think that that's like really, really fun. But yeah, no, it's fascinating. I was like, when I heard it for the first time, I was like, oh, no way. I'm like, that's so cool. I'm like, no wonder. Because again, like every like Japanese media that I see where they have a kobold, it's always some kind of like dog or some kind of like hyena or whatever. And that's because over there, they're like, So their kobolds are like our gnolls. Kind of, yeah. Except like small and like little guys. But yeah, they're almost like our gnolls. But our gnolls are hyenas. Theirs are like proper like dogs, usually. It's interesting. Cool. Okay. There's Corn. So now we get to draw background characters. Now, Corn is little, so let's just do that real quick. We're gonna do that. Again, a background character should be something that doesn't really necessarily hide. It isn't a character that is like super, super boring, but it should be a character that doesn't overtake the main character, but still feels like they fit within the setting, right? So, again, I'm gonna go with one who's like a full animal, one who is full humanoid, and one who's in between. We're gonna start with the humanoid because that's faster. We're going to do... Elves are too easy. We're going to do... Let's just do a human. Let's just do a person, right? Doing full-on backgrounds, full background characters. These characters will never show... They will show up for half a second and then never show up again, right? Let's just do a human. Let's do a humanoid character, right? Let's say that this person is just watching the spectacle go on. And again, we also want to make them interesting. We don't just want to make somebody who is like tieflings. 10 out of 10. Oh, tieflings are great. We don't want to make some... Actually, you know what? You're right. We're going to make this a tiefling. Never mind. They're a tiefling now. We want to make a background character somebody who is still interesting. We don't want to make them, like... somebody who is completely forgettable. Because, again, like, you see background characters in, like, movies and, like, shows and whatever. And they're not, like... They're not, like... just the same guy in like slacks and whatever. We want to make them still have some kind of individuality to them, right? Yeah, so not like the fun shopkeeper, the friendly innkeeper. Nope, it's just some guy in the crowd. Right, but again, we want to still make a person interesting, so we still need to think about shape language, we need to think about, you know, they should look average, but they shouldn't look boring, right? I believe in weird tieflings. I have a tiefling, her name is Arrow, E-R-O, Arrow. She's one of my warlocks. I have 2 warlocks. When I tell myself to draw humanoids, ends up not being a human. That's super real. I have, like, a few human. I have 1 human D&D character, who is my other warlock. I don't like repeating species. I don't like it. So it's like, I want to play a different one every time. So it's like, my 1 warlock, tiefling, Arrow. She's very cute. And then I have my other human warlock, Kingsley. I'm like, I like playing different genders. I like playing different species. I like playing different... Here, I'll show you guys. Where'd I put this? There they are. Yeah, here are all my characters. Here's my 2 warlocks. So this is Arrow. There she is, and this is Kingsley. Kingsley is married to his familiar. So, and there's Corn over there, obviously. But yeah. No, I love tieflings. I believe in weird tieflings. I believe in funky tieflings. Right? But no, I was gonna play her, but then I ended up not being able to. So, but that's okay. Kingsley needs to drop the last tutorial, right? Yeah, these are all my characters. Yeah, these are all the characters. I have played this group right here. this group of 4, I have played as Corn, I've played Strider, I've played Rye, and I've played Scuttle. So all the species that are going on here, there's Tiefling, Human, Dragonborn, Satyr, Centaur, Water Genasi, Goblin, and Warforged. So Strider's gorgeous. Yes, they are. I love Strider. Strider was super fun to play as. You need to add Neptune to this. That's true. I didn't play as Neptune. What is Scuttle? Scuttle is a Shadow Goblin. Scuttle was a weird character of mine. I really wanted to play like some weird guy. Scuttle's my favorite. Fun fact, I actually didn't really like playing Scuttle. It's when I learned I didn't like playing like the weird character. I learned I didn't like playing the weird silent type, because he was like one of those characters that like he was kind of just like a creature, and like I realized I actually didn't like playing that archetype because it meant that I wasn't going to talk a lot, and it also meant that I kind of had to do weird things all the time, and that was not my vibe. I love playing a weird character. 2 characters that are not on there actually are Neptune and Nightjar, who Nightjar is my Candela character, to be fair, but here, I'll show you those 2. Here's Nightjar, and here's Neptune. This is Nightjar, who's my Candela Obscura character. They're really fun to play as. They're weird. They're like a weird character, but they're like the hello darling kind of character. They're like the weird kind of, they're a bartender. So they're a lot of fun to play. And then Neptune, who is part of my Pokemon campaign that I'm part of, who I love playing as Neptune. Neptune is the quiet character who she's like quiet and full of rage. They're so pretty. I love Jar. Jar is so fun to play as. Janky Aunt. They're the White Aunt. The Jar is the White Aunt. I want to have his horns like sticking out of the hat. I think that's kind of funny. And we'll have like some of the hay sort of sticking out as well. It's like he couldn't find a hat that had the right proportions for him, so he figured it out himself, kind of thing. You already know how I feel about Neptune. I love Neptune. She's so fun to play as. My little psychic girl. She's super fun. She's like one of those people that'll like whisper about you, but then like we'll talk about you behind your back, and then we'll come back to you and be like, oh no, yeah, that's great. It's like she'll probably hate you, and you'll have a sneaking suspicion that she does, but she'll never tell you that. It's not like she tries to hide it, but she'll also never tell you. A friend of mine and I were talking about tieflings with weird tails as well. I also believe in that heavily. I think that we should normalize weird tieflings. Like, I no longer want them to be just attractive. I want them to be fun, you know? I live for fun characters. I want characters that are more interesting in ways that are outside of, like, personality, you know? Make sure you mix up your body types as well. I think it's really important to be able to draw multiple body types. He's a farmer, so I don't expect him to... Like, I'm feeling like he's a farmer, so I don't expect him to be, like, unfit, because that doesn't make sense. But this more, like, body... Like, this more strongman type of body type, I love this body type so much. Which means that they're, like... They're focused more on, like, bulking than they are on toning. Which is a really fun body type to kind of... This elbow is too low. It's a really fun body type to sort of work with. Normalize weirdness in general, yeah. Probably Tiefling, Azamar, and Owlin, or Tabaxi. Depends. So what are you feeling, like, think of your class as well, right? What kind of class are you thinking of? I love Tabaxi, personally. I'm super into Tabaxi. I've played with a couple of Aasimar. Aasimar are really cool. In Korn's party, Quinn, the character, is an Aasimar. Our tired Aasimar. Our tired German Aasimar. Right, I think it's important to be able to do a bunch of body types. And as you get better with character design as well, varying up your ratios, the body ratios, like where things start and where things end, that kind of thing also becomes really important, because not everybody has the same leg length, not everybody has the same arm length. So being able to sort of vary that up as well becomes really important. I had two friends in college, and one of them was significantly taller than the other. I believe one was like 6'2", and the other was like 5'4", but they stood next to each other and their hips were at the same height. So she had really long legs, and his torso and legs were about the same length, but their heights were really different. So that's again like the ratios of the body, being able to sort of switch that up. Because, like, obviously we have, like, the anatomy thing of, like, yeah, this is how many heads, and this is how many heads, and that's on average, right? But not everybody's going to fit within that. So being able to find the healthy medium between them, really important. My brother's legs are the same length. He has 5 inches taller than me. Yeah. My partner and I am around 5'5", 5'6". They're around 6 feet tall. Our hips are also at the same height. So he's got little short legs. He is all torso. It's very cute. Right, so the best thing about Korn is that he is not very detailed, so that means that all the background characters are also not going to be very detailed, because it just makes sense. I have a rather anime art style, but it changes completely while doing character designing. It's either cartoony or weird mix of styles. I'm fairly semi-realistic when it comes to drawing like characters. Like, I'm not super cartoony, I'm not super anything. I think like I am a weird in-between between like Japanese inspired, Western inspired, and some kind of semi-realism, I think is like where my medium kind of happens. Like here, I'll show you a finished one that I did like yesterday, right? You know what I mean? It's like it has the Western sort of style of lighting and lighting, but then the eyes and like a lot of the facial proportions are very Japanese, but at the same time it's not like anything's disproportionate, so it's like technically the techniques that I use for like the face and the body are very semi-realistic. No, it's not a commission. It's my friend's one of their NPCs. His name's William Black. He's the lore master. So he is part of a guild that is for, it's like a research guild for like a different campaign that I like to watch. I believe in weird tiefling tales. I don't want them all to look the same. I think that's a little boring. He's got these kind of ram horns, so I'm like, it could be kind of cool if like he had like almost like a ram's tail. But like it is a tiefling, so like we'll have like a bit of a barb going on there. I think that's cool. Thank you for reminder. Okay, so we've got our humanoid. We've got our human. Next one. He looks smug, devious, and manipulative, but like he's trying very hard to convince everyone around him that he's harmless and nice. This guy? I don't know, man. I drew a farmer. I was kind of thinking that he sort of looks like the guy who's like, who unironically says like, oh bother. You know? Kind of Winnie the Pooh-esque. The other guy, Corn? Oh, William Black. No, he's just kind of tired all the time. One Vin wanted to marry him. His name is Dave. Farmer Dave. Yeah, that's this guy. Okay, I want to match some of the shape language from the horns to the tail. So let's add in some of this as well. So you can have a bit of the spikiness going on here. You know, William Black, he's like a really smart guy. He's just really interested in like knowledge. He's kind of just, he's like an Omega nerd, but he's also just tired all the time. Me and William Black are getting married tomorrow. You're gonna have to talk to my friend about that one. He looks tired, like he's been farming all day. Farmer Day! Let's go the full inhuman one then. Let's go the animal folk one. Let's do a Tabaxi for the fun of it. I'm gonna do a Serval because I really like Servals. And then that way Quinn can also see how I handle Tabaxi. Because I know they've been struggling. You guys can also see how I handle Tabaxi and like humanoid things. What's a Serval? Serval. S-E-R-V-A-L. Serval. It's a type of it's a type of desert cat, I believe. Serval. S-E-R-V-A-L. A Serval. Mixture between Eeyore and Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, exactly. That's the vibe. That's it. I love drawing Tabaxi. I have Tabaxi to thank for teaching me how to draw cats, because I was really bad at cats. Frankly, I still think I'm not great at cats, but like Tabaxi really helped with that. I'm thinking we go with like a merchant this time. My campaign, we're in a land where the main species was Tabaxi. Not everyone knew how to draw furries or how to draw cat girls or boys. We settled on them coexisting as the same species. I understand. You know, I am the same thing for me is with, like, every, like, animal humanoid. I really love to mix the anatomy. I don't love it when it's just a guy with the animal anatomy. I want both in there, and I love to push the animal a lot more. So, like, with, like, Tabaxi, I love pushing out that, like, cat anatomy, because I think it's really fun to work with. And I'm like, I want to have, like, a more realistic take on the anatomy itself, so, like, pushing the arms forward. I do the same thing with Dragonborn, like, push the arms forward, have the muscles be more in the front by comparison to the sides, like a human would. Because, like, obviously a cat walks on all fours, not on twos. But, like, having them be like this. Also the proportions, the hips are down here, really, really long torso, right? That kind of thing is also pretty different when I draw, like, a Tabaxi. I'm like, I think less about, like... I'm like, oh, I want them to be... I do the less furry thing, actually. I do the slightly more realistic thing. That's what I was doing wrong. I understand that. Well, not necessarily wrong. It's just the thing that you were doing differently. Right? The thing that I find when I draw Corner, when I do this, is the thing that makes Corn stand out is his lack of realism. He is a lot less realistic than all the other D&D characters that I end up drawing, so he ends up sticking out in the way where he is like, oh, this little, like... This little, like, Cartoon Network character is standing with, like, these other, like, AAA game studio characters, you know? So it's like, that's where he differs, I suppose. But it's funny. It's a funny way of handling it, I think. I'm gonna make his neck longer. It might look a little bit better. Never mind. I'm just gonna fix the shoulder anatomy because I wasn't loving that. Do Tabaxis complain about not having long digits like everyone else? Fingers are small. I don't know. This is just the way that I draw them. Right? Not necessarily, like, how all of them are. Again, most people have their Tabaxis as just dudes with cat hats. And it's the same cat heads. And it's the same thing with, like, a rule, because rules is written, that is technically what they are. But I am not gonna do that. Maybe this Tabaxi is actually a rogue. Tabaxi rogue is a very common pairing, because Tabaxi are very dexterous, and rogues need to be very dexterous. So it's like, that's a really common pairing of, like, classes. So again, like, characters that are individualistic enough to be interesting, but not so much to where they either don't fit in the world or overtake the main character, right? It's like people that you think would, like, just work in a crowd or would, like, just kind of be in a setting. You know? What's your tail look like? You do just have a striped tail. Serval. Tabaxi noble? I'm not oh, like a nobleman? Or like, because I don't know what that subclass is. I don't know what that class is. Looking too pear-shaped, my preference. I just wanted her to have those hunchy cat legs, not big hips. Ah, I see, I see. Longer torso will probably really help. Yeah, 100%. Think of the inspo on Tabaxi anatomy for the longest time. Belly and height of the legs, basically the satyr root, but cat, you make it look more like cat-like here. Yeah, 100%. Because cats, right? If we have like a general cat, we've got like the front legs and like the back legs, which are very similar in length. Right? It would have a longer body than this, but they're very similar in length, and the torso is the thing that's like longer. It's like, because you know how like difficult it is for us to walk on all fours, and it's because our legs are like longer than our arms. We're not built for that kind of length, but these guys are. So like if you stand them up, their arms aren't going to be as long, and it's their torso that's going to be really, really long, right? So it's going to be a little different in that way. Maybe I can do more than, if I just stick to sketch only, I'm like, maybe I can do more than just 3. We can do a few. I think that would be fun. Oops. Nope, didn't mean to do that. We'll do the half humanoid, half creature kind of now. What am I thinking? We could do a mermaid. We could do a Yuan-Ti. I actually haven't designed a Yuan-Ti before. Let's do that. No, big Farmer Dave. Said the wrong thing. That's okay. It's like they're, if I had to compare them to like a noble, I'm like, maybe they're a paladin, or maybe they're a fighter, like a knight fighter kind of thing. Fighter is like one of your basic classes that you start with. Try this character lineup so far, thank you. Yeah, Yuan-Ti, that is a snake person. Yuan-Ti. Yuan-Ti. They are snake people. They're like half snake. Glad you're feeling better. Thank you. I am feeling a little better. My voice isn't fully back. Like, I still can't do falsettos, but I'm mostly back to normal. And I do still have a cough. Snake, yeah. We'll do somebody really tall now. To be fair, all of these people are pretty dang tall, actually. Yeah, we'll have somebody really, really dang tall now. Vary up your head shapes, vary up how you draw people, vary the types of noses that you use. Right, there are lots of things that can lead you to having more variety in your faces. You know? I think having different ear shapes is cool. Like changing up what a pointy ear is supposed to look like. I think is cool. Half snake of what? Half snake, half person? So I'm listening to D&D podcast, so I stop yapping about things I don't know anything about. Hey man, it's alright. We learn things. To make him look sly devious. I'm tired of that trope. It's like, it's such like a common thing to be like, oh, it's like, and I definitely have said it before in like streams and whatever, where it's like, oh yeah, it's like triangles, it's like that can make them look eviler or whatever, which is like the Disney way of thinking of it, and like that's fine, you can totally do that because like sharper angles are like less friendly or whatever, but I'm like, let's rethink that a little. I'm like, you can totally do that. There's nothing wrong with that, but yeah, it's super Disney. I'm like, we can do better. It's like, have different things hint to them being a less savory person. What's your take on how to make characters look evil? Don't rely on their looks. If you want to make a character look evil, you need to present them that way. It's not necessarily a how they look type of thing, because I think that that's a shallow way to write a character. I think the best way is have it reflect in their actions by comparison to taking a look at somebody and being like, oh, they're evil. Because I think that that's a shallow way to create a villainous character. Obviously you can do that, there's nothing wrong with that, in which then it's like, yeah, sharp angles, like, you know, the way that they dress, the way that they whatever, right? But I'm like, here's my take, right? Think about the people that you would consider evil in real life, and think about how they look. There's your answer. Character Lamia? There are a Yuan-Ti. Yuan-Ti. In D&D, they're snake people. I might need to marry this Yuan-Ti guy, too. Yeah, you don't always want the evil character to be so obvious, because that takes the twists and turns away from the viewer. Exactly. It's like, sometimes you want something less obvious. They look like first Undertale. People severely underestimate how you can characterize people with their teeth. It's true. Teeth are such a good asset in, like, facial design. I love drawing teeth. I drew teeth today for a class, exclamation point classes, so, I mean, pretty cool. Yeah, we can do one more. Let's have them be short this time. So we got a lot of tall people. Let's have somebody be a little more short, I think. Actually, no, we had them. They're good over there. So they're not touching as much. Scale texture, thank you. Use subtle things with facial expressions, shapes and clothing, armor, body projections. Showing character traits to me is all about communicating emotions and shape language. I think shape language is people who hang on it too much. And like, you can do a shape language in a lot of ways, but I think people hang on it too much for the actual shape of the character. I think, like, it's important, but like, you shouldn't, like, use it as gospel. Something not humanoid at all. I was thinking maybe I do a Lokatha. How about we do a kobold? I can show you kind of how I feel about how I like to draw my kobolds. We talked about kobolds earlier, so... Language is the seasoning, not the main ingredient. Yeah. I'm like, I could do a plasmoid, but plasmoids are too small, and they're also, like, really, like, little. What is the main ingredient for visual, like, for character design is visual storytelling, in my opinion. Sorry, cinnamon toothpaste? I think you're banned. I'm kidding. You're fine. But that is egregious, though. How dare you bring that into my chat? Is that a goat? I like a mix. I like a mix between something that is a little more reptile and a little more fuzzy. So I like my kobolds kind of weird. And it's like, sometimes they might lean to more dragon. Sometimes they might lean to more dog. Sometimes there might be a weird mix in between, which makes them look like a goat. And I think that that's funny. Backstory: if they have a scar, where'd they get it? Who made their clothes? Their family life like, and how you can communicate through that. The design. That, my friend, is called visual storytelling. That's what I say is the main ingredient in a character design. It is deciding all of these visual factors that will tell you the story of the character that you are hoping to design. I love them, yes. And a weird little freak. Sneaks into your pantry and steals your cheese. I actually kind of want to make these eyes worse. Let's... I'm like, I think they're too cute. I think we can make them look more head empty. Yeah, there we go. That's better. Bulging goat eyes? No. I want to keep the kind of reptilic vibe in the eyes. I think that it's fun. I drew different kobolds for... Like, again, like, I like them to kind of go in between. It's like sometimes they lean more dragon, sometimes they lean more other. So it was like, I drew kobolds for, like, doodles at one point for, again, a friend's campaign. Can I find them? They're really funny. Wait, is this one public? Yes, it is, because Tucker. Yeah. These guys. I gave them, like, the front nose here. These guys were a little more dragon-y, so they're a little more reptilic in nature, but I like them to look just kind of, like, silly. This is Bella. This is my friend's character, Bella. She's very sweet. She is a furbolg. She's big lady. She's 7'11", if you wanted to know her height. She looks so sweet. I want to hug her. She has a southern accent and she is very sweet. I did give him the same proportions as corn. Hang on, let's fix that. There's just something about this body shape. I'm like, I have to give them really long arms. She's a skyscraper. Oh yeah. No, she's big lady. I could always like, yeah, there we go. The T-Rex arms. Kobold. Silly guy. You bet, sugar. She does say sugar. It's so funny. Does Kobold have an Aussie Southern plus Japanese accent? He, I think, would sound like... I think he would sound like if you were washing your clothes against a washboard. That's my headcanon. He's got very average traveler's pants. He's so silly. Have fun! Wow. The Kobold and Farmer Dave are definitely my favorites. I'm really feeling the Tabaxi. I'm just a sucker for Tabaxi, I think. I love Tabaxi. I think they're just a lot of fun. Whoops. They're just a lot of fun to design in general. We got 9 minutes left. Let's draw a fairy. Stop yapping about my characters and visual storytelling. Hey man, I can't stop yapping about my characters and visual storytelling, so like, that's fine. I just like Tabaxi. I love drawing them. I think that they're just a lot of fun. I love the cat anatomy. I just think it's fun to be able to do. Actually, you know what? Let's do a pixie just so I have it, an excuse to draw antenna. Thank you, Joe, for the $5. Appreciate you. Make her a moth? I actually might, yeah. Would she be open to giving her really weird bug eyes? I'd be willing to give her multiple eyes. I don't know about weird bug eyes because I don't know how to draw that right now. Yeah, cool. I think chat likes the pixie. I think she's great. I'm a firm believer in plus-sized fairies. I don't understand why everyone draws them the same freaking body type, bro. I want to see more chubby fairies. Less Tinkerbells, bro. Let's do some, let's have fun. Let's have fun. This is like the one species where everybody draws them the exact same body type. I'm like, bro. I'm like, let's have fun. Let's have some fun, please. I'm like, we can do better than this. So I'm here to say variety. Exactly, variety. Let's have some variety, bro. I'm not going to use a reference because I have 4 minutes left. I want to see some weird gross fairies. Super true. I want to see some. They're fey, bro. They're probably gross. They're probably weird. I also believe in weird, gross fairies. As a collective, let's all do better. Yay! Like, just admit you're boring when all your characters are the same size. 100%. Let's have fun with it, bro. Let's have fun with giving our characters variety and visual interest and something fun to latch onto, you know. And right, you see, like, all these characters, right, like, we have, like, our background characters here. None of them really stick out too much. There's nothing too interesting, but at the same time, they don't stick out, like, any less than, like, our main character does, right? We've got characters that are, like, they feel like they fit within a fantasy universe, right? We've got a lot of characters that sort of feel like they kind of fit within the setting. They have enough variety. They have enough visual interest that, you know, it's not like, oh, it's one guy in a t-shirt, right? It is a bunch of people that all sort of feel like they have personalities, right? Nice and balanced. We still want to feel like our characters have personalities at the end of the day, even if they, you know, don't, because you didn't write one, right? They've got something like that. Fairy Barbarian would go insane. I think I've heard of somebody playing a Fairy Barbarian. It's really funny. A fairy that's bigger than the Yuan-Ti. That's an Aasimar. A really jacked fairy is really funny though. There's a friend of mine who had a pixie, like a pixie friend whose name was Plume. Plume was tweaking out all the time. Like, bro was always tweaking just a little bit. And I thought that was really funny. He was a pixie that was like, he looked like you would find him in like a dumpster in a back alleyway. Like, he was not like pretty. He wasn't like anything he wasn't like, well, he was interesting, but he wasn't anything like super prim and proper. He had crazy eye bags and his hair was everywhere, and bro was constantly tweaking, like genuinely. He was so funny. I loved Plume so much. What a funny character. But alright, thank you all so much for joining. That is 5 o'clock. Yippee hooray! And again, thank you so much to the sponsor for this stream, XP Pen, who have an awesome selection of digital art tablets for both beginners and advanced artists. So if you're looking for an affordable and reliable digital tablet, go browse our store. You'll find the link in the description of this video. And if you're here for the first time, you don't know too much about us, hey, wingcanvas.com. We also offer classes. I am one of the instructors. There are other instructors for the studio as well, where we teach a variety of art classes. So if you want to check those out, hey, go to wingcanvas.com, check out the classes that we offer. I teach a digital illustration mentorship class, and a digital art class, as long as a asynchronous comics class that you can join and watch the recordings of. This file that you see in front of you, the JPEGs, are going to be available on our Discord, which you can go and check out. This file and this one, which you could both get them on the Discord just to see them, download them. Cool and epic. But if you would like any working files, you're going to have to join the Patreon, which also includes you getting critique days, which are pretty cool. The critique days, the office hours, where you can sit in a Discord call with some of our instructors. And if you're a high enough tier, you can also get either discounts on classes or one class per month. Pretty cool. So be sure to check all of those out. Cool and epic. Tomorrow, you guys, I believe, have Josh? I think you guys have Josh tomorrow? Yes, you guys have Josh tomorrow. He'll be turning food into characters. Cool and epic. We love designs like those. And then afterwards, you've got Faye. Faye next week, Friday, where she's going to show you guys how to paint food. Lots of food. I'm assuming that our December thing is going to have to deal with food in some way or shape or form. I'm not sure. But keep an eye out for those. Keep an eye out to see those. And thank you so much for joining me today. And I'll see y'all in a couple weeks. Au revoir. Bye-bye.